Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, and I have told everybody that this is their time. I've paid each one 50 cents. It's the Culinary Hotline bling!
Ding, ding, ding!
I should have paid more. Now, Chef Clem is back in the kitchen to analyze common baking disasters, kitchen fails. We've all been through it. Whether it's a sticky macaron or maybe a sunken cake, it happens, all right? So don't worry. No one's going to judge you. We want to guide you through. So here to give us some guidance, some solutions here and there to try and fix the disasters, Chef Clem is definitely standing by. Now, we've asked you to give us a couple of options. Maybe you've taken a picture or two, maybe you got a voice note or two, maybe you got a message. We want to hear all of those things, and don't be shy. It doesn't matter. If you've put salt and it should have been sugar, that's okay. If the cake sunk, it's fine. If you've burned something easy like popcorn, that's also okay. 063-408-8863. We're very happy to hear what you have to say. Chef Clem, first and foremost, how are you, man?
So good.
Hey?
It's happy to see you.
It's happy to see you here in the kitchen. We're doing our thing, which is exciting.
Very exciting.
So before we go to the comments, right, common mistakes, sure, there's so many, especially in baking. Baking is such a big science, and I feel like the margin for error is far greater.
Absolutely.
In baking than it is for just like sort of generic cooking, I suppose.
Because it comes down to silly things like air pressure,
Yeah.
air temperature,
Putting a little bit of water in the oven while the thing, and you're like, why would I even think about that?
moisture in the atmosphere. It really can be that fine of a detail to change your whole baking experience. And the thing is, we're asking people about their kitchen disasters not to laugh at them.
No, with them.
Yes. Because how many times have I, live on TV, just had a disaster completely? If you remember the cream situation, where it was this 1 week I was just knocking the cream over, left, right, and center.
I don't know.
And we go with it. So we have asked our viewers, and a lot of the questions, the answers that came through were baking related.
Okay.
Should we go through some of them?
I feel like we should.
Let's do this.
Okay, let's go through it. So let's talk about some of them that have come through. And here's a first one that is
Paddy
up.
says, I can bake almost anything, but macaron are showing me flames. I don't blame you. And the funny thing is, it's actually a very easy recipe. Very, very, very easy. But yeah, there are like certain little techniques that can cause your bake to go a little sideways.
I think that sometimes, for many, it's the shape of the macaron. They're not piping it onto I feel like the baking tray in a certain way where it gets a chance to express itself. So it's either too big, or it's a weird wonky shape, or it goes
Or
left.
it rises like to the side, the gangster lean.
Exactly.
That's okay, but it's fine. Look, I honestly believe to get the shape right, it's something that's going to take a little bit of practice. So the thing is, we're using a silicone mat, and we're actually going to make some macarons a little later.
That's cool.
But there are certain bits of equipment that help you get that perfect shape and that perfect texture as well. And I think we got quite a few macarons coming through where people were like, it's tricky, but we're going to help you today. We are going to help you.
All right, another comment. We're going to switch you out a little bit later. We don't have time for that at the moment. But Wahida's saying, trying to make macarons. I've tried so many times. There we go, another macaron one. Amazing delicacy to make. So I feel like macaron seems to be what we need to make today.
We are definitely going to jump into that one.
Okay.
And again, it is such an easy recipe. It's the few little techniques that give you that perfect end result.
Okay, this is good.
Also,
sometimes it's really, really dry. Sometimes. I think that's the problem with macarons as well. If you don't get your mix right. More comments. Let's see if there's any more that has come your way. And thanks a lot for sending these over. Of course, that's Wahida, Lauren, Olivier saying, a can of condensed milk in my old school pressure cooker to make caramel. Not the best idea where the pressure cooker lid flew off and I was left cleaning caramel off the ceiling.
Okay. All right, I feel you on that one. I actually do like that old technique of buying a can of condensed milk, slowly cooking it in a pot of water till it turns to caramel. It takes time, so you want to chuck it into a pressure cooker. But here's the thing. For me, pressure cookers and the condensed milk can, it's a little scary because, I mean, you got pressure of the pressure cooker itself building up pressure.
Yeah.
But inside that pressure can is another can building up pressure.
That's correct.
It's a little scary. And people, they do find pressure cookers in general scary. I love a pressure cooker. I feel like before the end of winter, we're going to have a little pressure cooker hotline because I do love it. I would rather go low and slow when it comes to making that caramel. Put it in a normal pot of water with a normal lid on and just be patient.
Yeah.
Alternative, buy the caramel. Don't be risking things. No.
It's fun. It's fun to try, but I think if you need to know your techniques, and I think that's very, very important. And then another one, I attempted sago pudding, epic fail. That's from Charmaine Munsami. And, sago pudding, it's like what you grew up with. Ma used to make sago pudding. You never knew how she used to do that. I think it's also polarizing, sago pudding, in terms of its texture. If you get it wrong, it's mush. it's not really that desirable.
Yeah.
If you get it wrong again, then it's just that the taste doesn't work. So there's got to be a middle bit there that you have to get it right.
And then you get it wrong the third time, and the
that's
family
correct.
sends a message. Listen, rather bring the rolls. Rather bring the rolls.
Just bring chips.
If your family, if a family puts you on snack duty and says, bring the chips, bring the rolls, you need to be watching this episode right now. You can also go and check it out on YouTube again if you want later. But that's why we're here to help you, to get you out of the snack category and into making the mains. Sago, back to Sago.
Yep.
So because Sago's cooked with a bit of a custard, essentially, right?
Yeah.
What I see a lot of people do is they cook it and then the custard splits. So it's always, again, it's really important to work off a recipe, especially if you are a bit of a beginner when it comes to baking. And you'll get more confidence as you keep on baking. And you'll learn to play around with things and how things react in the oven and when you're making a batter itself.
Practice makes
but
perfect.
we are going to make a Sago.
Yay!
Because it is so cold outside. And I want to just say, I don't know, like a lot of our desserts kind of cross the borders and they can almost become breakfast. I feel like Sago is one of those where we should just wake up in the morning and have a bowl of Sago. That's amazing.
Well, this works as well. So I feel like also the spice in there, it kind of heats things up, which I like. Which I love about Sago pudding. Nomatemba, another one that came through about a kitchen disaster. It just says fail at scones and muffins. I think scones, it's quite specific in terms of that crumbly dough and just putting it together as opposed to kneading it in. And I think muffins-wise, that's another thing that takes, once again, science. You want to keep them moist and not dry, and I think that's another thing we definitely have done before, but we should proper jump into it again sometime soon. That'll be great.
I do love muffins made with a bit of oil in the batter. It does make a difference.
Thank you.
Talking about scones, again, the ingredients for scones are so, I think it's like 5 ingredients, could be even 4. The issue is the technique, and the biggest problem, people usually overwork the dough, and then it turns into a brick. A brick, and you don't want that. No.
That's correct.
So you want to work with it as less as possible, and that gives you that soft, flaky, short-ish, pull-apart texture.
And I mean, Martha, same thing around the cakes. I mean, it is a science. I wanted to learn how to bake cakes, but it always falls flat. I don't want to bake cake anymore. Martha, please.
I felt it last night.
I
don't want to bake cake anymore. I felt that.
Come on, Martha.
Because baking, again, you spend so much time putting effort and love into it for something to flop. So what I like to say is, find the easiest recipe of the version of whatever you're trying to bake. Something that you can read and you can visualize yourself going through those techniques. Start off there. Start off small. And maybe it's not a case of starting off with the chocolate cake. Maybe it's chocolate cupcakes. You know what I mean? And again, it's all about the batter and how you just work with it. But just start off with the small steps. If it's as simple as going to Woolies and buying a box mix, just to get the confidence of working with the batter and just to get into the oven, do it. Absolutely do it. Baking is all about, I want to say, a bit of like muscle memory, a bit of like your senses and the things they know they're supposed to see, smell, It's about practice.
Lovely. And we'll practice with you a little bit later. Remember, macarons will be made here. We've got all of your questions answered with Chef Clem a little later, so make sure you stay right here. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Only you can make my day. It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Hello and welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is a wonderful Wednesday this morning, and Chef Clem, the lovely Chef Clem, is back in the kitchen to analyze common baking disasters and kitchen fails this morning, whether it is a rather sticky macaron or a sunken cake. Doesn't sound too great, does it now? But he's here to provide guidance and offer solutions that will turn your kitchen disasters into absolute delicious successes. And after a few missteps and a couple of smoke alarms, we all know what we're talking about. Let's move on to something sweet and delicate as Chef Clem shows us how to make macarons step by step in our next edition of this Culinary Hotline Bling. Ting, ting, ting. Thank you. This is Chef Clem on this side. Hello, Chef Clem.
How are you?
Well, thank you. So you ran us through some common kitchen conundrums. Some baking seems to be at the forefront of those problems.
Understandably.
Yeah.
Understandably.
I just want to know, so you're going to show us how to make a macaron.
Yeah.
Can you save a sticky macaron?
Sticky in what sense? What happened?
I don't know. I've never made one, so do they get sticky? I just said sticky.
I think the situation's
sticky.
But them themselves, not so much. I mean, they could.
But if something goes wrong,
we're going to help you today.
Can you save it? That's what I want to know.
First things first, macaron, that's what a macaron is.
Yes, that, over there.
Macaroon is not that.
No.
A macaroon is, it's more like I'd say like a coconut style little biscuit, little sweet bite, okay?
It's weird when you say macaroon because it doesn't sound like there should be coconut in there. It's weird. I don't know.
You see, my brain goes, yes, macaroon
Really?
makes sense. Because if you get marooned on an island, what are you going to find? Coconuts.
Okay, I've just had a change of opinion.
Macaroon. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Got it.
Let's make some macarons.
Yes. So very simple macarons. Let's talk about the ingredients. So we've
Yes.
got egg whites in here.
Yes, that's the nice and crispy,
Yes.
fluffy part of
Let's
it.
talk about the egg whites first.
Okay.
Day-old, 2-day-old, 3-day-old, 4-day-old egg whites work really well for meringues and incorporating air into them, okay? Another thing you want to do is if you keep your eggs in the fridge,
Yeah.
take them out the fridge and let
Room
them come to
temperature.
room temperature. You want everything, when it comes to baking, you always want your ingredients to be as close to the same temperature as possible.
Right.
That way, it incorporates really well into a batter and you get the best texture.
You see.
There we go.
And by doing so, avoiding conundrums.
Conundrums, exactly.
In the kitchen.
So, we're going to start off by beating the egg whites and
All right.
adding some sugar to it.
Which you clearly have done already.
Because
a little bit.
this part takes some time, and I want you to
Yes.
pay attention to it. So you can add caster sugar if you want. I prefer using normal sugar, and you want to
Okay.
add it gradually. What you're going to do is you're going to keep on mixing it until your meringues.
So you can use either or.
Exactly, no, absolutely, you really,
Okay.
really can. What you do want to do, the most important part, is you want to mix it until, I want to say, 90% of that sugar is dissolved
Right.
into the egg white. So how do you test that? So you test it by taking some of the meringue between your fingers, okay, and you kind of squish
Oh,
it.
so you can feel.
And I can feel there's a lot of grit happening
Well,
in
you've
there.
literally just put it in.
I've literally just put it in.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep on working. That's my lappi.
Should I keep going?
Please do, please do. So you're going to keep on doing that, and you're going to get all the sugar dissolved. Plus, you're going to see your meringues and they become beautiful and glossy and thick.
Can you overmix it?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
But it's going to, again, you're going to look out for the gloss,
Yes.
and you're going to feel how nice and thick it is.
Aha.
Okay, you're doing the things. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there.
Should I keep doing this?
Keep doing it.
Okay, I'm keep doing it.
I'm going to work on the other part, which is going to be our almond flour, the ground almonds, okay?
Righto.
That's what kind of holds everything together. It's not flour, it's almond flour. So,
Got it.
to that, we're going to add that to a bowl. We're going to add icing sugar.
Okay.
Because we're looking for smooth texture,
Yeah.
we want to actually sieve in the icing sugar first. We don't want lumps.
Okay. While you're sitting there, can I ask a question?
Of course.
Because you said you can either use the granulated sugar or that sugar, the caster sugar in here.
So this icing sugar?
Icing sugar, I mean.
we would not use with a meringue. You
Okay.
kind of want to create some of that agitation. So you want to, that's why I like using normal sugar versus caster sugar. Because with the bigger grains, you're going to create more agitation, you're going to get more air into the egg whites. Versus the powder, the icing sugar,
It's going to kind
It's just
of
gonna mix.
condense it a little bit.
it's still going to puff up a little bit, but not as
Yeah.
much as we want it to. Okay,
Okay.
so that looks good. We're going to give this a mix now. This is the almond flour, icing sugar mixing together. Let's see
Okay.
how that's looking. Yeah, okay. I will go for a little bit longer, but for the sake of time, you know what I mean. Again,
Yeah.
you want it to be shiny glossy.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, can I just do a little bit more then? Because I
Yeah.
want this to turn out
Absolutely. And then in the meantime, pick a color. We got yellow, we got orange, we got green, we got pink.
right.
What do you want to go for?
Let's go with a green. Can we do a green and green?
Why
Yeah?
not?
Why not? I want to see a green because we don't have any green there.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, go for it. But you don't
No.
need a lot, no?
Talking about kitchen disasters. First things first.
Open.
Step one, remove packaging. Okay, here we go. And also,
Disaster avoided.
when working with dye,
Yes.
number one, you can add more, you can't take out.
Yes.
So start off with a little bit first.
Because you don't need a lot.
You don't need a lot. And especially with macarons, they've got like a very soft pastel color.
Yes, you don't
need
want
more
it
than
like-
that. Okay, here we go. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, don't worry. Okay.
Okay,
Ooh,
we're
look
looking
at
good.
that.
Okay, now,
I feel we should resort to actually a spoon mixing of this.
here we go. You can use this. And what you're
That
going to do
was-
now is, and again, I'm not going very bright green. I want to keep the colors nice and muted.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can see it's kind of minty. Some would say it's Clem minty. Okay, so there we go. To this, we're gonna add we're gonna add our dry ingredients. We're gonna add half first, and you're
Okay.
gonna fold. Because remember, we worked so hard to get all that air into the egg whites.
Yeah.
So we're gonna really work slowly, so we don't knock that air out.
Ah, so am I doing it correctly
You're doing
here?
it perfectly. You're doing
Right.
it absolutely like this is the way, and you're gonna take your time with it.
Right.
It's happening. It's gone quiet all of a sudden.
Nice.
focus, the detail.
The focus, yeah.
Nick, can I tell you about the equipment? I say you 100% you need.
You can. I was about to ask you something, but go ahead.
No, okay, while I'm busy, you can ask your question.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I want to know, is there anything, we're talking about kitchen disasters, that will prevent the egg whites from becoming the way they should be when you're doing this? What can happen?
Absolutely.
You mentioned the room temperature thing.
When you're working with egg whites specifically to whip them, to get a lot of air into them,
Yes.
your bowl needs to be super clean. Your prongs on your kitchen mixer need to be super clean. Egg whites are very temperamental in the sense if there's any fat present or dirt, it'll stop them from actually puffing up and becoming beautiful and aerated like you want it to. So make sure everything's really, really clean.
Okay. Listen, fantastic. Good tip. Thank you very much. I am trying to go as slow as I can here, but I think we're getting there.
We are.
Because you also don't want to overmix it, I presume, right?
I think we're good. So what I use for equipment, I use a piping bag.
Okay.
Willie's sell them in a pack of 10. They're amazing.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then I've got a nozzle on the end. And then I've got a silicone mat.
Ooh, I like
Nothing
that.
sticks to a silicone mat, okay? Or you can use baking paper, I prefer the silicone mat.
Okay.
Then, so I want to ask you now to scoop that in to our piping bag.
Oh, wait. I feel I should be a lefty.
Be a lefty. I'm a lefty. There we go.
I am so bad at being a lefty.
I will take that. Okay, keep that for just now.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do? Ooh, you know what we were? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We got this. Okay.
What did
so,
you?
No.
No,
It's not
don't
yet.
freak
It's
me
not
out,
yet.
Drew.
It's not yet. It's not yet. It's coming up now. So get it down. Okay. We're gonna do a little tester first. Okay.
Okay.
And then what you can do is you can also trace out the shapes. If you want to make sure they're exactly the same.
Right. But if you're a professional like Chef Clem, then you just eyeball it.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay, once you get your little pieces down, and what I do, I don't even notice, I actually rest my elbow like on the counter, just when I pipe, because you have more
artist.
control.
Okay.
Then, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take it, even though we worked hard to get the air in there, if there are bigger air bubbles trapped in them, as it bakes and as it rises, it's gonna give you like a little bit of a bump, or it's gonna pop. So you don't wanna do that. So you're gonna give it a,
Right.
okay? And I like to let it sit like this for a little bit. And I actually like to let my batter sit for a little bit as well.
Just to get,
Then pop it into the oven, okay?
Right.
And look how beautiful they come out.
because you want that. This is the iconic way that you want to have a macaron coming out smooth, beautiful, because it is such a, it's a statement that you're making when you make this, right?
It really is. And again, what's nice is you've got, let's say for instance, we made this a specific flavor. Let's say we even added a little bit of peppermint extract to it. So, and then with a filling, you can play around with flavor combinations. And you can do with chocolate fillings, chocolate and mint, or you can, absolutely go crazy with it. Coconut, the
There we
coconut
go.
flavored center. And the texture is, it's not a biscuit, it's not a dry cracker.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a little marshmallowy.
Oh, look at that.
Little marshmallowy in the center as
Just
well,
like
okay?
that.
That's what you're looking for.
All right, perfect. Well, I can tell you this: if you follow these steps that Chef Clem just laid out in front of us, you cannot make a mistake in the kitchen, right? No.
It's practice,
It's
but we're
practice.
giving you the best foundation to get it right the first time.
Just follow it. I'm sure you'll be fine.
be
Thank you,
fine.
Chef Clem. Another edition and another round of your culinary hotline. Bling! Ting, ting, ting. We'll be heading your way in just a bit.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso on S3, and we're back in the kitchen, baby, where Chef Clem is here to analyze common baking disasters as well as kitchen fails. Now, whether it's a sticky macaron or a sunken cake, he's got you covered, okay? He's here to provide guidance and also offer solutions that will turn your kitchen disasters into a delicious success. And to end off this week's Culinary Hotline, we've decided to embrace some local flavors with a traditional baked sago pudding. Now, sago pudding, I have one question. What is this?
Sago. A lot of people, they do wonder what it is.
Yeah.
It's made from tapioca root, so it's natural. It's not something weird and
It
foreign.
doesn't look natural because it's these white round balls. You know, it looks like, when you're boxing things and then you have that stuff inside.
Oh, yeah, the foam.
Yes,
foam.
that's what it looks like.
It's not that. It's not that. Don't eat that.
Okay, so this is a local South African pudding we're making today. Sago pudding.
Sago pudding. Let's swap sides quickly.
Yes.
So it is very easy to make, but again, when you start working with eggs and egg whites, things get a little scary and people get a bit
These are egg
worried about.
whites?
It's egg whites.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we've done, we just whipped the egg whites with a little bit of sugar.
Okay.
So that's the beautiful gloss and nice thick egg whites
Can
we're
we do
looking
that
for.
test where you put it on top of your
Let's
head?
not do that.
Oh, okay.
No.
No.
Okay, when your egg whites do sit, you'll notice sometimes it gets a little loose at the bottom. That's perfectly fine. Don't get worried.
But don't put it above your head.
No, I nearly did that. What a potential disaster. Okay, so we've got some milk in our pot.
Okay.
And we just want it on a nice low temperature. Again, when you're working with eggs, and essentially we're making a custard, you don't want to work at temperatures that are too high because it's going to start cooking the eggs and you're going to end up with scrambled eggs.
Oh, no, we don't
So
want
we don't
that.
want that. So let's get our heat a little lower. Where is low? There we go. To that, we're going to add a little bit of sugar.
Okay.
And I want to keep some of the sugar for the eggs as well. Sugar goes in. And what's nice is there's a guideline for how much sugar to add.
Okay.
If you like a sweeter dessert,
Add more.
Absolutely. I don't like my sago very sweet. But,
Okay. So,
I
would
like,
that be the right amount
yeah,
of sugar?
absolutely. Then to this, we're going to add a little bit of cinnamon.
Lovely.
Oh, should we talk about the cinnamon?
Talk about the cinnamon.
So a lot of times with milk tart and with sago, I
Yes.
find what actually puts people off is the amount of cinnamon that is used in
I'm
it.
telling you, Chef Clem.
Cinnamon's strong. So let's just bring, let's just come over here to our example. I would not put that much cinnamon on the top.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Can I tell you though, Carl would love that. We had a chat earlier and I was also in your same boat. I was like, not too much because and then it goes everywhere.
It's not a cinnamon challenge.
He loves the cinnamon. He also said nutmeg.
Absolutely. You can get a bit of nutmeg in the mixture, actually. Or you can do a little mix of the cinnamon and the nutmeg on the top. But the cinnamon for me shouldn't be like a cakey layer on the top.
Right.
Cinnamon is, as mean as it sounds, cinnamon is a background singer.
Not the main character.
And it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
It can't be. Or else you just overpower the whole dish and all you get is cinnamon.
Oh,
it's
Lord.
okay being the backup singer.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's okay.
She beat
Cinnamon
it.
was the front. Cinnamon was the main character when it was a cinnamon challenge. That was fine. That was okay.
It had its moment in the sun. We
It had.
moved on.
Yeah, but we love cinnamon. We
But
do
we're
love
also
cinnamon.
incorporating it into the actual dish. So, I mean, it's there.
Yeah, it's there.
It's
absolutely.
part of the fabric of sago pudding.
Absolutely.
We love that for her. Okay, what else
So,
are we adding in
sago,
there?
we actually did soak this for a little bit. I remember the days when you had to soak sago for like a day.
Okay.
Not anymore. It's like quick soak, and then you're good. So I'm gonna turn this out a little more. So we're gonna add the sago to it. This part is very easy, and there's no actual science. You can't go wrong by just getting everything into the pot at this pot.
Okay.
You're fine.
So you wanna? Can I pass
Yes.
you?
So what's going to happen now is we're going to start talking about the eggs. So you want the pearls just to you want the pearls to become translucent. That's when you know they're cooking, they're cooked through. When they get to the point where there's a tiniest little dot of white still on the inside of the sago, that's when I go in with the eggs.
Okay.
So what I do is, I got my egg yolks, and I'm going to get a little bit of this milky cinnamon mixture, and I'm going to whisk and slowly add this warm milk. And the reason we're whisking and slowly adding the milk is, again, we're adding hot milk to eggs.
Okay.
We don't want to scramble them.
Right.
So we're going to go slowly. And the technique what we're doing is we're going to be tempering these eggs.
Tempering the eggs.
So when we add this egg mixture to that pot, it's not going to turn into scrambled eggs.
Oh.
Okay, there we go. Keep on mixing. So we're bringing the temperature up of the egg yolks,
Yeah.
so it's not shocked as soon as we get it into this mixture.
You see, this is why they say it is actually the art of science, because what is happening right now? Tempering eggs.
Tempering
Okay.
eggs.
Tempering
okay.
eggs.
So this is going to go in. What's going to happen? The eggs are going to start thickening this mixture along with the sago. As the sago cooks, it's going to start thickening as well.
Okay.
Okay. So you're
And
gonna,
how long are we cooking sago for?
we're going to let this go for about. It depends on the sago you get, but. The sago today usually is quick cook sago, so it's going to go for about 20 minutes. You'll see
Yes.
it's actually going to be to the point where you've got the tiny little dot in the middle.
Right.
And again, with the egg yolks in there, it's going to be nice and thick. So we're going to fast forward, and you're going to, where do the egg whites come in? So
Also, where does this sugar come in that you've left behind?
I normally add it to the eggs as well when I'm adding that hot liquid, but also I'm keeping this out because, again, I like not such a sweet sago
Right,
pudding.
okay,
So
we're leaving that.
once this is beautiful and thick, and it's like, it'll seriously change texture. It'll become
Okay.
thick.
Yeah.
Then you're going to let it cool down slightly, and then we're going to start folding the egg whites through it. And that's going to give us body, that's going to give us texture. And it's funny because you can see a sago pudding that hasn't had the egg whites folded through.
Okay.
Some recipes don't do the egg whites, and that's fine. But the difference is quite a dense, flatter sago pudding versus one that's a little puffier, a little airier, and a little lighter.
And that's what we're kind of going
That's
for
what
here?
we're going
Okay.
for. So once it's baked, it comes out. So everything goes into a baking dish,
Yeah.
goes into the oven.
Yes.
When it comes out, that's when I like doing that's the little hit.
A touch of cinnamon.
The touch of cinnamon on the top.
Okay.
And I don't know about you, but like custard for me is a vibe. Custard with sago, or piping hot sago and ice cold evaporated milk. I don't know where that came from, but it's like,
Wow.
It's so good.
You know what? You and I also were chatting earlier, and he loves the hot and cold mixture coming together. It's like a party in your mouth, I guess.
It really is, and your brain loves a combination of like really hot and really cold.
It surprises your brain a little bit.
It surprises your brain. Your brain loves being surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, very important. Oh, sorry, cinnamon. Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Cinnamon on the mind.
Okay.
So add the vanilla again. We love our desserts. Add in
That's
extra
the
vanilla.
thick vanilla essence.
Use vanilla extract if you want. Use vanilla essence as well, but add the vanilla. It makes a huge difference. Again, if you think about the flavors we're working with, eggs don't really have a flavor.
Yeah.
Sega has 0 flavor.
Okay.
So the cinnamon is coming through. So to add another layer of flavor, we're going to add a little bit of vanilla. And because we're baking...
You got to add the salt. Salt Bay comes through.
There we go.
Okay.
So once the egg... before I actually fold through the egg whites, add a little bit of butter for richness.
Yes.
Not important, not vital to the recipe.
It adds a little something.
The butter adds a little bit of love to it.
Everything's better with butter. We've established this. We know this. Okay, I mean, I low-key want to try it, even though it does have a lot of cinnamon. Let's see what the texture's doing in our mouth.
Go for the side that doesn't have all that cinnamon on.
Can you answer a question while I do this?
Please.
Seeing that you are a great person when it comes to managing disasters in the kitchen, I think I need to put this in something.
You're being so... No, especially we're going to do this. I'll give you the sugar bowl. Imagine you get a whole spoonful of cinnamon. No, there we go. Okay.
Okay, well, listen to this. I, the other day, had to throw away a whole dish, and it smelled insane. It smelled so good because I put the salt in, like with a salt thingy, and then the salt opened, and everything fell out. So what's the solution?
How much?
A lot.
So, like, it was to the point where it tasted like
salt.
Beyond anything, just salt. In the case like that, unfortunately, when it is so heavily seasoned and it's like deep, unfortunately, there's nothing you could do about that. However, if it's a slight over seasoning and you've just made a dish like taste a little salt, like saltier than what it's supposed to be, there is a fix. If it's a stew, if it's a soup, if it's a curry, add potatoes to it. So you peel your potatoes, cut them in half, keep them nice and big and chunky, and just load them into your pot.
Okay.
It's going to suck up moisture, but it's also going to suck up all that excess salt.
And then you throw the potatoes out, or you leave them in there?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit too salty to eat.
Okay.
In fact, taste the potatoes first. Sometimes it actually balances out the seasoning in a dish, and you can actually eat the potatoes.
Nice.
Sometimes they take out most of it. And then it should save your dish.
Oh, I
You'll be
love
fine.
it. And you're saving so many people's lives right now. We've made some sago. It's absolutely delicious. If you'd like to make it to expressoshow.com, we've got your back when it comes to nice winter warming, delicious recipes. So go ahead and make it this weekend.